Today is August 26th, 2021. Yes, I just woke up, and I prefer when I look haggard in my videos, my raw, what I really look like. I straightened my hair last night and slept on it because I had something I was doing yesterday. I mean, it doesn't even matter. I make these videos for Tara, TLC, my daughter, whom I haven't seen in 5 years now. In about a couple weeks or so it would be, exactly 5 years. I remember the last day I saw her. My ex-husband stated that I was going to kill her, and that's why he said that he feared for his life and got out of the divorce without having to pay me any alimony or having to, just being a dick, pretty much, because he left 2 loaded guns in the house when he left, knowing that I was a suicidal person. And I make these videos as if I'm talking to like an older version maybe of my daughter. It doesn't really even matter because she's gonna, find this all out when she's of age, that her father raped me and that all these different things, and sure, they might not be necessarily in a structured format in these videos for everyone to understand my timelines, but it helps me in order to write my actual novel and what is going to be like in it. So for everybody who doesn't know me, my name is Leticia Collins. At this time, it's my legal name, and I live in Arkansas. And I lived in Hot Springs, Arkansas for approximately 13 years or so. And I was from Wisconsin, Beloit, Wisconsin. Born and raised there for 20 years of my life. And moved down here because my parents divorced, and I thought that I would get the emotional support that I so rightfully deserve as a human being. We should all get some support in all facets, okay? When you're lacking in these different areas in your life, and they've done research on this, you're less likely to be able to function properly, psychologically. So I made my own sort of case study in a sense by switching over to medicinal marijuana 3 years ago and seeing the progression of my mentality and how everything has transpired to me losing 150 pounds during the last few years naturally through diet and exercise, as well as smoking marijuana as opposed to doing pharmaceuticals. As every time I was forced to take the pharmaceuticals, I would have a weight issue, which then would mess me up in my head because I knew what people were saying about, all the excess fat on my body. So I was never that big growing up because my mother made sure that I had eating disorders by telling me that I was too fat and that I needed to suck it in for the boys and stand up straight. And then I'd turn and walk around the corner of the hallway, and my father would see me standing up straight with my chest out, and he'd slap the shit out of me or try to grope me. So that's my life. Contradictions everywhere. So that's what the precipice was of my novel. And then it was actually entirely based around like the 7 deadly sins and how I'd fallen prey to all of them. So I lost the majority of my writing. It wouldn't matter anyway. I was messed up. I did 3/4 of a novel in the span of like a week and a half, typing it out. It actually was not that bad. I handed it off to one of my old high school classmates, but was going through some psychosis and was angrily told her, like, okay, whatever, you'll get around to it, sure, reading it. And I know not everybody is like in the frame of mind to try to help someone else. I know for many years I was not able to help anybody else but myself, and that was selfish of me, yeah, but at the same time I had nothing else left. I had lost everything. My ex-husband filed for my disability, swayed me into signing papers that weren't what he told me they were. And when he told me that, like, I just don't believe in the constructs of marriage, we'll be together in the end. Oh, I remember all of that conversation, Brandon Kelly. I remember all of it. You're a piece of shit, is what I hear, because you went and got remarried to someone you went to high school with because you needed to satisfy yourself physically, right? Right. Because men are like that. Men have that mentality to say, okay, well, if this one's not giving me everything, then I'll go get it somewhere else. So, you know, toward the end of the divorce and everything too, the way Brandon would sit on his phone and like I didn't know already what he was up to. Like, come the fuck on. That's why I was trying to tell him we needed therapy. We needed to do counseling. It's not how it went down. So, I don't even know where to begin. I really don't even know where to begin some days, because I wallow in this wasteful life. And I mean, I live my life every day. I'm very blessed. I get up, generally I go and work out now, and I have a life. I take care of myself. I've done the same things I used to do growing up to maintain myself, brushing and flossing my teeth every day. Excuse me. And I lost sight of who I truly was when I was around a bunch of toxic energy that everyone said was, you know, like I was toxic to everyone. But it makes perfect sense, because I was drawing the toxicity from everyone else and relaying it back to them. It makes perfect sense, because I'm sort of like a conduit like that with emotions or whatever, like a mirror, essentially. I will offer people exactly what they offer me. So when I had told him, like, we were having discussions and I was saying some crazy things and I was on this, you know, medication, and he took all of that as my actual self, and he got restraining orders, and I wasn't able to see my Tootsie anymore. 4 years of loving and coddling her and getting into that situation of knowing that I'm a mom, knowing that my body went, you know, the physiology of my body, the chemistry of my body has all been changed since I had a child. And I know I'm just supposed to move on. So I make these videos in order to move on, so that I won't harbor any of those resentments anymore. I'll finally be able to tell everyone exactly what I think and how I think it, and it doesn't matter to me. I do not care about your emotions anymore, because you did not care about my emotions when I was going through my bouts of psychosis. You did not care to love me like I loved you. I love so many people unconditionally. There are some conditions for my actual love, like physical love, intimacy, and things like that. There are always conditions for that. But that's different. That's being able to have access to my temple. And I realize that now. I can't let people affect my temple. Which, like, even you see me all haggard on screen, but you didn't see how pretty I was prior. You didn't see, like, and yeah, all the wrinkles and everything now that, you know, I've had all of these stressors in my life. And so anyway, I'm starting to recognize that this is a solo tour, you know, like I'm gonna go it alone, and that's how it is. And I don't need to seek out what doesn't belong to me. What belongs to me will rightfully find me, and I'll have it. It's just how the universe works. So I know that I was fighting for something that didn't exist back then. And the only love that I cherish in this world is between me and my daughter. That's it. Everything else is just acquaintances. Everybody else is just a passerby in my life. But my daughter will always be there because she's my blood. So, and everyone else has proven their, you know, worth through the betrayals. So there's no reason for me to want to reach out to these people anymore. I was assaulted in Hot Springs by the Collins family. Brandy Pritchard Collins was the first one that attacked me, and everybody just followed suit because they're so ignorant that they can't speak and communicate, like fight intellectually. So they have to use their fisticuffs like buffoons. And it's actually pretty funny because they look so ridiculous, and they're going to look ridiculous in my novel because it's of course going to be based around the truth and what has happened and the differences between the North and South and everything too, and from a woman's perspective, and how the male bouts of psychosis affect a woman, and a woman that's just trying to seek companionship, fellowship, having people that genuinely are good people around her. And so I started going back to churches, and I was like, okay, yeah, there's a lot of hypocrites here too. People that are not accepting of other races and cultures and things like that. I'm half Mexican, I'm half white. When I start speaking to them, they're like, oh my God, yeah, I know that there's a lot of supremacy that goes on out there. And I'm not part of that, obviously, because I've been ostracized and persecuted my whole life for being different. So I had, when I make these videos, I have nothing in store for what I say. I have no script. I just talk. I just tell people how it is on this day. And I miss my child, but I know I'm looking forward for the day. I was invited to go do CrossFit at one of the gyms that I'm near, and I'm going to try to take them up on that. But do I feel like it? No. What I feel like doing is being a parent to my child. And the ways that I reached out, everybody was frightened, and so the courts did nothing to help me. And also when people are like, get aid for it, they have attorneys set aside for things like this, where they will help you through legal aid. And I called, and they said, well, we can't help you because the child's not in actual danger. She's not in physical danger. And I was like, well, psychologically she's in danger because she's not actually, that's actually true. Because she was getting so much love and compassion from me, so much love and attention and admiration from me, and then she got pulled away. She's lured into whatever lifestyle she's leading now. But that does not justify, the fact that I am not able to love my child the way a mother should. A breastfeeding mother, somebody that is actually a good person. So there's the difference, because if I would have been some crazy southern regular housewife that I've seen around here living in the trailers and whatnot, I would have bottle fed my child, much like most of the trashy people out there that bottle feed their kids, because it's just how it is. Powder formulas, and then all of the additives and all the different chemicals and everything. And if you can't sustain a child with your body, then why should you have that child? I'm being honest. Why are you putting more children into the world that you know is overpopulated? Why? Because you believe that your offspring is grander than everyone else's? You believe that your child will save the world by its emissions? By all of the toxins that it gives off, all the bacteria, all this and that, how we destroy, how physically the human race is destroying the earth? Single-handedly. Because the animals didn't do it. No one else. We have consciousness. We're the ones that set off the atomic bombs. We're the ones that have toxified the earth to the point where everything has a carcinogen in it, some way or another. It's selfish to bring children into a world that you know is decaying. So I didn't want to. I didn't want to have kids. Yep. I had a boyfriend at one point. This is right before I had ended up having my daughter. That's why she's a rainbow baby to me, because I had this piece of shit boyfriend who was a dishonorable discharge from the military. And at first I didn't understand, because I was only 20 years old or so. I didn't understand the facts of life. I didn't understand how men were. I didn't understand how the world was. So I started hanging out with him. He was my boyfriend. I was in love. Everybody's always in love, like naive girls like me. and that always had shit from their family and was sheltered, and I wasn't really necessarily allowed to hang out with my friends very often in high school or anything like that. Didn't have high school or friends in elementary school. Was the weird one because I couldn't socialize. They said, don't talk about what's going on at home. If you talk about it, we'll kill you. Like, literally, my dad threatened to kill us every fucking day. It was bad. Strangling my mom, doing whatever he did. It was bad. So here I am, trying to grow up with whatever disorders, and I haven't found the classifications for these disorders. Didn't realize myself that I was, ill, and was trying my hardest not to be emotionally involved. I didn't realize that love was so vast in different forms. Like, you can love people in different variations, but at the same time, the word love can be used to manipulate you. And of course, I had sort of like that, is it Stockholm syndrome, where you fall in love with your captors, and then I always felt like I had to protect them because they protected me, when in actuality, they're the ones that caused me to be so ill psychologically and even physically, because my physical ailments came after my mental health disruptions. So, bouts of suicide, I don't even know how many later. I mean, shit, I would say around 10 I've had, but really serious ones that, like, I shouldn't be here. So, I had an abortion, because he told me that it just wasn't the right time, and that I should just, and I hid this secret from everybody, and I ended up getting pregnant shortly thereafter with the same person, and the baby didn't have a heartbeat, so they had to do a DNC, dichotomy and something, where they remove it. And so I had 2 little lost babies that I didn't know how to, like, psychologically after that, you don't really know how to cope when you've gone through the struggles I went through as a child, and then also bullying at home and bullying at school, where people were like, Letizia is one of my nicknames. Letizia is what some of the boys used to say, because I had big boobs and stuff, and they didn't realize that I was suffering at home, so, they thought it was cute amongst themselves to discuss me and whatever, and no, it's not. So they didn't realize that I was going through so much at home. Like, literally every day was a struggle for survival. And that's how it's been my whole life, struggling to survive, because there was a short time when I had my daughter that I actually felt comfortable in the world, and so comfortable that I gained too much weight. And I thought, I was important for a moment. But that's with everybody. Everybody goes through that. I realized, even the people that don't have kids, and then, they go and they serve, and they believe that there's something special, and then after they're done, they're just looked at as just wasted trash, like wasted away, used up garments. That's what it is. So everybody's got to go through their trial and error of everything. I realize that now, in hindsight. I mean, it's just, I feel like there are times where I can't comprehend what I've lived through. I mean, the abortions freak me out. I mean, I'm Catholic. I should have known better than to offer my body in such a way and to be a slut and do it in the first place. And then I found out afterward, because I did the procedure awake, because I wanted to save him the money, because I was trying to be like, okay, yeah, this was my fault too. No, it's not my fault. No. You shouldn't be sticking your dick in somebody that is emotionally, not ready for a relationship, right? So that's why I just abstain. I abstain now because I know that I'm not ready for that. No one should be ready for that until they're actually, prepared to understand that one individual that they're dealing with. Because even my ex-husband left me for dead. I mean, you just don't know anybody. You don't know anybody. I was with him for 5.5 years until you actually get to know them. These people are crazy. that boyfriend that got me the abortion and everything, come to find out, his family owned half of Benton, Arkansas. Like, owned a bunch of, like, estates and everything. He was rich. And he just didn't want the baby and everything. But he was still sleeping with me after the abortion and everything. And so then, when I had told Brandon Kelly Collins this, I told him, I was like, I'm not ready for kids, I'm not ready, I don't want to be involved with people. He's like, no, I love you forever, I love you so much. And he would do things that I thought were, unique to the two of us, but apparently he does whatever he does because he's a playa. So, and every dude is, and I realize that now. They'll say whatever they need to get you in bed. They'll say whatever they need to in order to get what they need to and waste away, whatever. It's not about a partnership for a lot of guys. It's about whatever makes them feel good physically. And I noticed that a lot of dudes have the psychological impairment to get aroused by every other female. I know the difference with pheromones. I know the difference with physiology. These things happen naturally. But if you can't counteract it in those moments, that is psychological impairment. If you cannot hold off, cannot refrain from stating facts about sexuality that are just basic human survival, it's just, like I said, the physiology of the body. I am going to get all this stuff down packed, and be able to write about it fluidly, because I know I have a lot of knowledge that I can convey to other people. The people have told me I'm an inspiration, especially in person, because when they see me, they hear my story, and I talk about it, discuss it, and I'm like, yes, this is how it went down. And just so you know, here's a little pieces of advice. So, there's a lot of ignorant people in the South, by the way. Especially people that don't brush and floss their teeth and have a bunch of dentures by the time they're like 40 years old. It's really sad. Oh, actually, no. There was one dude that I dated for like a short minute. He had a fake plate in the front, too. People are nasty. Like, they have no teeth and shit, and that's gross. Then they don't maintain themselves afterward or anything either, and it's just like, wow. So I saw these differences in the way that, and then I ended up getting fat and like not brushing my teeth, just like everybody around me, just acclimated in that way. I wasn't happy. I'm not happy that way. I'd rather be free and on my own, and even if that means living in my car and being homeless. So, I don't even know where the fuck I was in my story, because I feel like, oh, Jesus Christ. The abortion. Yeah, I was traumatized. Never wanted a kid after. I was on birth control every single time I got pregnant. On the pill. I had been on the pill since I was like 12 years old because my mom told me it was for my acne. She was like, here, take this for your acne. She just didn't want me to get pregnant by my dad like my sister did and had to get an abortion by my dad. So, because my sister told me she was like 14 years old and got dropped off like a block away from the abortion clinic with only half the money. At least that's what she told me. So whatever you guys were doing, diddling in the back and touching each other and whatever, I saw what I saw in front of me. Of course, I had no reason to not believe what she had said about the abortion. And then when we talked to a detective about it, and it's just like, no, these facts are facts, and you know what? I just don't care. I just don't care anymore. I'm horrified. My father was whipping out my mom's boobs and my sister's boobs in front of us and sucking on them. That's not normal. Not at all. And he said that it was normal because his God told him to do it. Like, are you fucking insane? Like, you don't disrespect other people. You don't. That's the devil. That's the opposite of God. That's like the opposite of being a good person. And besides, God is neither good nor bad. It just is. Everything just is. There has to be an equilibrium to everything. Everything just is. Balance, good and evil. Everything just is. So my father, he had accomplishments by bringing up the rest of his family and giving everybody a good life. So he made his choices. Do I give a good life to my individual family? Or do I go and want more fame and power by instilling fear in the rest of the family to come up here and help them in such a way? I'm amazing. Like, that's what everybody else sees. Oh, your dad was the one that brought us over from Mexico. He was an illegal immigrant and he deserved to bring all of us. And no, 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 no. Wasteful resources is what that is. You just had a bunch of offspring that you brought into the United States of America that do nothing for the U.S. but take, that live off of welfare. That's what you ended up creating. A bunch of servants. Isn't it funny? Because my maiden name is Servant. Like a servant or something. Like, there we are. Servants to society. Serving. Just serving up everything. Serving everybody. It's funny for me because I'm like, yeah, actually my name is fucking crazy. Because my name translates to joy. And there I go around always being happy with everybody individually, not everybody knowing all this mental shit that I go through. Some people want to watch my videos, some people don't. Even the people that I interact with, they're like, we don't care, Leticia, you're cool individually, like you've gone through some shit. And so yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to the day that I can post some of my information and everything where I look nice on video and everything, and I don't seem like I'm just a crazy bitch yapping about her life. I'm mostly, like I said, I'm just doing this for my Tootsie. Gave me an incentive to put myself out there as an individual, to tell people and share bits of my story to help influence them in a positive way. Hey, you can still keep going. Hey, the suicide attempts didn't work for me, and you should, just so you know, be more positive every day. Like, do better. Like, I try to do better every day. Lost that 150 pounds. Doing great so far. Still maintaining my my hygiene. Although I look disheveled now. I know. Actually, I didn't shower yesterday, but sometimes a day without it, with my hair, I've got extremely curly hair. That's why anyway. So, yeah. I miss my daughter, and August 26th, 2021, I know the day, and they used to have to ask me that in the psych wards because I was in and out. I was like, where's my baby? I don't know where Brandon is. Call Brandon. Like, he'll help me. I love him. Love. No. And Tara, so you know, every time I went to the psych ward after the divorce and everything, because he was the only one I trusted, your father. Even after he betrayed me like he did, I still trusted him. It wasn't like I was trying to stalk him or anything like he had said or his family had stated. I loved him passionately. I thought that he was the one for me for the rest of my life. I thought I had met the person that was going to be able to help me with my emotions, help me through all of the toxicity that I'd lived through as a child. But he took from me. I didn't get to go to school during the time that I had gotten pregnant. We were together and everything, and he went to school, and I waited, and so I thought taking care of you, I thought it was just going to be one of those stories that we would succeed together at a certain point. But when I got my wisdom teeth removed that day, and his family physically assaulted me, and the cops arrested me, when you're arrested for shit that you didn't do, that is like one of the worst traumas, because then society sees you as like being a troublemaker, when in actuality you're the one that was trying to seek help for everyone else too. So no one's ever done anything. Like when I was 12 and I told everyone about the sexual abuse, I should have stood up. I should have just, they let my parents in the room after I had OD'd on my mom's pills, taken all the painkillers and charcoal, pumped my stomach, and they let my parents into the room by ourselves, And they were like, if you don't lie and say that, and they didn't have cameras in the rooms like they do now and everything, which they do need to have all that. We need to have these monitors in place because there's so many manipulative parents out there that try to hide from the government and society what they're doing. But we all, like some very intelligent person told me yesterday, we all live in glass houses, but some of us draw the shades as if the others can, as if others can't see in. And some people barricade themselves so well that we don't really know what's going on in their glass house. But he told me, he said, you're so transparent in the way that you convey your emotions. And he said that it was really refreshing because no one ever meets a girl like me. No one ever meets a person that is genuine, a person that is honest and will tell them to their face what they believe, what they perceive, and I'm not gonna bullshit people. I just plow through those bushes, those, I don't know. But yeah, so I've had a lot of trauma in my life, and I am excited for when I get to see my daughter again, because it doesn't matter. I'm still healing. I'm still going through my process, and it's regardless of whatever her other side of the family says, she's going to see through the research and through the documentation what everybody and everyone and where they sit in their mental health and physical health, and she'll be able to have her own judgments. And she's the only one I reach out to, because I know that there's no one in this world that I care about. Absolutely no one. No one but my child. And everyone knows that. I'm emotionally detached in that sense, but I love everyone, and I offer them the respect, and they're all my acquaintances, even my biological family. I love you. I respect that you're there. I respect that you're a part of my reality, but at the same time, I don't have to be a part and associate with any of you individually like that. So, just how it is. So, I look forward to when I don't have to be all crying in these videos and I can just be happy all the time. It's pretty early in the morning, still like 9 something, I don't even know. I need to start my day, have my oatmeal, and go about my business, and I just wish I could be right next to my daughter doing all this, getting that stable emotional support that I've deserved my whole life. But I can't have that, so not everybody gets that, just so you know. You just gotta plow through it and do it on your own. I just thought for a moment that I met somebody through your father that saw things in a grander perspective and saw that there was always potential, and saw being positive, being optimistic. And I talk about these people in reality before I video and everything. I have to stop from getting too emotional because I realize that these people lied to me. These people manipulated me, and there's no going back from that. Then they abused me, and then I just have to deal with it. I have to swallow those pills and move on. There's nothing I want to say to these people face to face anymore. I just can't wait to see my child. There's no reason for me to talk to Glenda, Miss Glenda No Teeth. Miss Glenda, you're ugly, right? She called me ugly once. When she was hanging up the phone one day, she called me pathetic. She thought I couldn't hear. She's so pathetic. Excuse me? You didn't hang up your phone. I'm pretty sure that's pathetic on your end. Not even knowing how to utilize the tools that you've got right in front of you. Always sitting, watching the TV. Yeah. Oh, I'm so not nice. Oh, she's so not nice. She ugly. Oh, I know I'm not nice. That's the nice part about me. My brutal honesty. Why should I have to be nice to people that can't take care of themselves? Why should I have to be nice to people that aren't nice to others because they can't take care of themselves? Take care of yourself. Hygiene is important. People are gross. People are gross. People are gross. Brush your teeth. I'm over it. I don't even care if I get strangled one of these days for confronting someone, some random fucking stranger. I do not even care. Don't even care. You come up to me, you don't brush your floss, you don't, sure, my hair gets crazy. I understand about crazy hair. That's completely okay. But if you don't have nice teeth, that means that you don't care about your orifices. You don't care what comes in and out of your body. Phrasing. Anyway, yeah. Why would I care? I'd talk to my daughter like this if she were an adult anyway. So whatever you guys presume, keep her, swear words, and she's gonna hear those swear words in school anyway. So I should be able to respectfully discuss things with my child however I want. So, and she would have probably been more intelligent because of it, because they took her away during her essential years of development. Now let's see what happens. So my daughter's out there. I love her to death, but she's going to be part of that other story that I had, and being able to convey to the world how you maneuver through it when you're so deeply traumatized, so deeply wounded. And also the differences in racial, cultural bias that is going on. So, anyway, let's talk about this some other time. Just like Brandy came up to me, Brandy Pritchard Collins, the one that first attacked me, assaulted me here, over words. I said, I'm sorry you're a bad mom, but I'm a great one. And bitch punched me. She is a bad mom. When her daughter was like 5 and I was pregnant with my daughter, her daughter leaned in, laid her head on my belly and said, I wish you were my mommy. Right in front of everyone. Right in front of her mother, right in front of my ex-husband, right in front of the grandparents there, or whatever they're called to her. I don't know what the fuck they are. All a bunch of rednecks is what it is. All a bunch of nasty rednecks that, anyway, it's horrifying. So when I said, you're a bad mom, and then the mother came over from across the street, what's going on? Ooh, what's going on? I said, I'm good. I don't need your help, because you're a shitty mom too. So she started wailing in on me too, because she can't take the fact that she was a shit mom. You raised a disrespectful boy. You also have another son who has a penis that's upside down because you allowed a hair to get wrapped around his penis, and then all of a sudden you're a great mom? No. If you couldn't keep up with your child's hygiene and everything when it was a baby, then you're a shitty mom. So apparently you just didn't understand that, and when I was calling you out on it, it just, oh, that's so sad. It's so sad. Oh, it's the truth. Rex with 2 X's. Collins, yeah. And Shannon Collins, yeah. The one that would just sit around and not say or do anything. The one that you're married to, Loretta. The one that you disrespect behind his back. Yeah, that one. Yeah, but you still are in the family like that, and I'm just like, damn, girl, get it. Get it, girl. You got a pacemaker. You need somebody to take care of your nasty hoe ass when you're dying. Everyone does. So get on it, Loretta. I never talked to these people like that to their face. I was always extremely respectful. Never did I want to stir the pot. Never did I want to be that person to call them out on their obvious psychological impairments. But now I have to. And although I don't have my doctorate yet, And I say, yeah, I will. And I'll be able to discuss this openly and honestly with my child, and she will be able to understand and comprehend where I'm coming from, because I'll be educated to that point. So, nothing that can be said about this emotional instability now will affect my future. None of this will affect my actual future and what I'm going to do in the world and how I'm going to help influence others in a positive way. I have to, because even though I'm cussing it all out now and it's on video and I've got it posted publicly for everyone to know my little bits and pieces of my true and actual story, I need to get it out. I need to get it out, or I would slit my wrists again and again and again when no one is watching, because that's what I used to do. Carve into myself, do all kinds of shit, find people's pills, try to drive into things, crazy stuff, because I don't want to be here, because I know how crazy the world is. People are fucking stupid. So, my own parents are fucking ridiculous. And then I couldn't get another set of parents, so you just have to deal with it. You have to deal with the fact that life is unfair, and that some people that are undeserving and talentless or, uncivilized, they get more than people that are of a lower status, that actually are slightly more civilized, appropriated for society, to try to help society. But I'll be able to write about all this later on. Everything in time. Everything happens for a reason, and everything moment by moment, because that's how energy works. The flow, the vibration, frequency of the world around us, everything has. It's atomic chemistry. Alchemy is a thing. I'm delving into all these different topics because I have nothing but time on my hands. Nothing but time. So, Tara, I love you very much. I'll keep this video short, and I will discuss with you later on more about what has happened and transpired between everything and what was said and done. And I know you'll believe me, because everyone believes me, because this is the truth. This is my raw emotions. This is the transparency that he was saying. And when I told him, I was like, I'm sorry, I just smoked weed. And he's like, I love that you were being honest. And I was like, well, yeah, because I can't be anything but genuinely honest. And even when people want like lies and everything, it takes me a long time to recognize, is that lie going to be beneficial for anyone? Generally, it's not. Generally, it's not. Brutal honesty is the way to go for me. And I'm just like, I'm over it. You people suck. You people suck. You don't brush your teeth, and you have no teeth. You have no hearts. You have nothing. Cowards. Brandon Kelly Collins is a coward. He doesn't like that I have to call him out on that shit. He's embarrassed. He's so embarrassed. He thinks it's like so stupid. He's like, I can't believe you'd allow her to say this shit on blah blah and put it out there. She looks crazy. And no, bitch, you're gonna look crazy in the end. Brandon Kelly, you're gonna look fucking stupid. Look for it. It's coming. God sees everything. I would be mindful of your P's and Q's. I would be mindful of the people that you've traumatized and hurt and left for dead. I would be mindful of the karma that is to come. And on that note, I'm hungry, so I'm gonna go eat. But, yeah. Tell me I'm crazy one more fucking time. Tell me. Because at least I brush my goddamn teeth. Because at least I have goals in life set higher, bars set higher than what everyone had expected for me. I'm living free essentially off of the government. I'm surviving, and like soon I'll be able to succeed beyond that, just survival, and help others to survive. So these emotions exist, and you can't change it. You can't change that. I have to express these emotions openly and honestly for the world to see. Symbolism, metaphors. Anyway, I'll see you on the flip side.